Welcome to the Hock Pacua Podcast. Was that the name that Ant made? Was that?
That was the original name before he added to just to change it. Yes.
That's what you have to do sometimes though to like win in fantasy. Like you have to add guys that like have no upside, but like if it makes your name cool, that's how you succeed. I think. I mean, if you learn from Ant, like
No, absolutely. That's the move that you would expect a seventh to eighth place team range to make. So good of him
yeah,
to add it and get a cool name at least.
yeah.
Even though
So
Hock Pacua would have worked just fine. Anyway, that's fine. No worries.
I was like, I don't know if it was the time difference. I don't remember when he did it, but I remember being like, it was like a 20-minute span where he had to think about it, and he was like, I'm not, I'm gonna change it again.
Yeah. He's like, fuck, all right, I'll add two.
Yeah, but Ant, thank you for unknowingly giving a name to this Pistol Pedias Fantasy Football podcast, which is now the Hock Pacua Podcast, and that was coined by Aidan in the group chat the other day, and that's what uh, gave me the idea to start this. All right, so the format is just going to be, hopefully, me talking with a valued league member every week, going over what happened in the week, what to expect for the next week, and since this is the first, this is before week one, I guess we'll talk a little bit about the teams going into the season, potential best, worst picks, what we think about each team, maybe each matchup, and yeah. So we'll get it going. Aidan, how does it feel to have football and most importantly, Pistol Pedias Fantasy Football back?
I'm so ready. I've had the itch for a while now. It's gotten to the point. I check my team now like multiple times a day, even though nothing's happening. Needed to just begin. So hopefully, or I guess rather tomorrow, we'll finally be there and it'll all be normal and right in the world. Yeah.
For sure. I know that itch too, and I know looking at your team being like, I love these guys, Justin.
You know,
Until one of those guys disappoints you, obviously.
it's been one too many Ja'Cory, Krosky, Merritt versus Austin Eckler debates. I think everyone's ready for it to begin at this point.
Yeah, you can tell everyone's getting antsy. So I guess we'll get right into it. Um, we'll go through the teams quick, what we think of them. I guess we'll start with the unfortunate. No, I'm kidding. The fortunate 2024 champion, Chuba Chuba, which he has to kind of change because he's on my team now. But Chris. So, Aiden, if you wanna, or I guess I'll
Yeah.
start just to get the flow going. So, I mean, Lamar. I feel like Chris
Can't
always
go
has
wrong.
Lamar.
Can't go wrong with Lamar.
Can't go wrong. Thing is, his running backs. Derrick Henry, super safe. Buddy's like 90 years old. And DeAndre Swift, I don't love him ever since I had to draft him as a rookie, and he burned me. So
You know, the thing with Derrick Henry is, and many people don't know this, is I was going to be selecting him 14th overall before Chris took him at 13. That was a scenario I never foresaw. So I was very surprised. So I'm a Derrick Henry fan. No, nothing wrong with that pick, in my opinion. And then with DeAndre Swift, yes, he fucking sucks. Ben Johnson is supposedly good for running backs. So who knows? I mean, just touching upon the running backs as well, real quick. The depth here is horrifying. I mean, truly terrible, with all due respect to Chris, of course. You know, because if DeAndre Swift sucks again, which is, I mean, he's being started, it looks like in less than 65% of leagues right now, kind of, it says a lot, I guess, about how the world feels about him. If something were to happen to him, we have Quinshawn Judkins on the bench. That was a big reach on Chris's part. I think it's the highest player in Pistolpedias has ever gone maybe without a contract signed. Probably maybe the only time that's happened. Uh, and granted, and he took him in the seventh round. Granted, he's very talented. That's a pick that, in my opinion, screams, NBC is talking about fantasy football and it's May, and they're like, Quinshawn Judkins might be good, but it's May ultimately. So pretty good team. It's hard to really, honestly, it's hard to disparage many of these teams given that nothing's happened, and it's ultimately kind of hard to judge a Chris team because it ultimately kind of works out in the end, and he ends up just winning the league. So, good team, but I don't think the best, at least right now.
Yeah, before we move on to the next team, how do you feel about his New York duo, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and Malik Neighbors and Garrett Wilson?
I'm a Malik Neighbors fan this year. I think he's going to be great. Garrett Wilson is, I mean, it's so hit or miss. He's one of many, I'm sure we'll go over today, wide receivers that kind of is either like 25 points or like 9 points. And the Jets are probably going to run the ball 80% of the time. So it'll be difficult for him to, I mean, maybe if he gets all the targets, right, it'll all work out, but not a huge Garrett Wilson fan. Trey McBride is nice to have, and he's high on Ted McMillan. So by all means, hopefully Ted McMillan works out for him. And given it's a Chris team, I'm sure it will.
Yeah, and his tight end has 2 moms. So, I mean, he
That's
has
cool.
a safety net. It's cool.
Ultimately, I think, though, as you pointed out, the team name needs to change. But I'm sure, he has another 24 hours or so to get that right before kickoff.
So moving on to the newest member of the Pistol Pedias, Kevin Hall, who some may not know just had twins. Him and another league member, Will Antini's sister. Just welcome 2 beautiful twin girls to the world, so congratulations to him. But I'll let you start it off. But just to note, I don't like his fantasy team at all. So I'm gonna let you take it away, though.
Yeah, there were some interesting picks. Continuing from the last team's Jet team that we were discussing, I was kicking my feet under the table when he selected Breece Hall over James Conner. Not that James Conner's anything special, but I think Breece Hall specifically isn't special. Famously is never, well, I don't know how many league members know this, but he's never rushed for 1,000 yards. And this year, it seems like his competition is kind of going to be greater than it's been in the past. So I'll start there. I didn't love that pick. However, this team has a lot of name value. So not sure how you feel about it. And additionally, I'm a believer, but please, if you have any opinions, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, I mean, Bo Nix, he looked solid. I'm not a huge quarterback guy, especially going into the season. I kind of like to see how it pans out. I don't never select a quarterback early. So Bo Nix, I like that value. Him grabbing him instead of grabbing like a Baker Mayfield in like the first 6 rounds of fantasy drafts. I'm like, that's a little crazy. But CMC, obviously huge risk, but can be the best player in fantasy, obviously. James Cook, I'm not a fan. I can't really name why. I just don't like what the Bills have become in the past few years, and I'm a Bill hater. I've come to dislike them more than the Patriots as the Patriots got worse and the Bills got better in the past couple years as a Jets fan. But James Cook, I loved him the past few years. I don't know. I don't see it there. AJ Brown, I don't see just because you know what you're getting, but he's also
kind of like Garrett Wilson plus, right?
Yeah.
Like his floor is like 12, but his ceiling is like Garrett Wilson. It's like 30.
Yes.
So he's going to be a little better, but again, it's so hit or miss with him.
Yep. And then Mike Evans, dog. I can't say anything bad about him, but
good pick.
But like Derrick Henry, who's also a dog, and Derrick Henry's miles better. These guys are getting up there. I mean, these guys have been playing since we were, little guys. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Kyle Pitts on the bench as well. Worth pointing out, he was selected. Perhaps this is the year. So I'm not giving up hope on Kyle Pitts just yet.
Yep. And I second everything you said about Breece. What was that?
Yeah. And Nick Chubb is there. Maybe Nick Chubb is fine. Who knows?
Yeah.
But not the worst. I mean, I don't know. It could be the worst. With all due respect, of course. Hard to disparage anyone right now. But it is a team, and you'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah. I didn't mean to trash it when I started. Kevin, if you're watching this, I know you will watch it.
Exactly.
While you're on break
no. We don't want to disparage anyone too much. Especially, I am a believer, And it
Yes.
is difficult right now given that no games have been played. But when Christian McCaffrey tears his Achilles, then this team is a problem. I mean, there's no running back depth. Anyway, he'll cross that bridge when he gets there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's really not the worst at the moment, I don't think.
Yep.
Well, again, it could be, but again, we're not trying to disparage anyone.
Exactly. All
Yeah.
right, moving on to Deuce ran a chain on Buddy. And for people who don't know, that's Nicholas Kinkner's team. And he had a nice little rebrand there. I don't think we're going to explain what that team name means to the public because of some reasons. But
Yeah. Public's
if you wanted,
interpretation. Yeah.
but if you want to start this one off again, I mean, just to note, I see, Achan he looked like a dog August 16th or whatever day we drafted. I mean, at the time I was like, oh yeah, that's probably the pick, but unfortunately, everyone's seemingly noting his build, his size, and lack of potential durability. So yeah, if you want to take it
No,
away.
absolutely. I think again, on paper, it's very strong. I think that the team is pretty good. I again, I'm not sure because with A-Chain, obviously there's that injury concern, and of course Nick was trying to trade him 4 days after the draft, so that's never a good sign based on his own comfortability with his team. Um, but I think again, if A-Chain's healthy, there's really not much to fear here. Devontae Smith kind of sucks as a former Devontae Smith owner, but
Second,
he does have Metcalf on the bench and Chris Olave when he's not concussed. Granted, I don't even know who the quarterback is there. Maybe Sam Rattler. Not a lot of not a lot of depth, I guess. J.K. Dobbins. We'll touch on R.J. Harvey, I'm sure eventually. However, J.K. Dobbins. Not sure what his upside is ultimately, at least as the season progresses. But Nick loves to wheel and deal, obviously. So I'm sure that that'll be an issue that if it comes up, he will try and respond to. So not a lot to hate here. I don't know what your opinions might be, but yeah, solid team. Nothing to dislike.
that is true. Historically, Nick's draft day team always looks vastly different than his, I was going to say end of season team, but his week 6 team a lot of times.
Yeah, week
But
4. Yeah.
but yeah, I think he has a lot of great wide receivers on his team, including Brock Bowers at tight end. That's such a huge plus to have over anybody. We'll see what
It's a good
happens
point.
with
Right, he's got tight end
Geno.
1. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Joe Burrow's awesome. If T Higgins plays more than 2 games in regular season, however many he played, Joe Burrow is going to be, in my opinion, could be a top 3 quarterback in fantasy. Probably top 5 in sleeper.
I'd almost expect it,
Yeah.
honestly. Good pick.
But the only thing I will say is we have noted his team will definitely change, but with his running backs, I think one thing that scares me and definitely scares him, but I don't know if he'll admit it, is not just Achan's durability, but I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. People say Achan, but Kenneth Walker. I really like Kenneth Walker. I've had him in the past, but I don't think he's ever played a full season. I don't know. I feel like
No,
that
absolutely.
he always gets hurt.
That's a good thing to point out. The good thing for him is he has Charbonnet on the bench, so
Yeah,
Charbonnet will probably end up starting 6 games, and he'll get those games. So
that's true.
I think that kind of offsetted just by having the handcuff there. Yeah, I think it's likewise. I like Kenneth Walker, but yeah, made of glass, so probably get hurt eventually. Hopefully, it's not too severe.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, then if moving on to the man of the hour, well not you, but the man of the podcast, the guy who inspired the name of this podcast, Hock Pacua Podcast. So which is Ant's team, even though this is Hock Pacua Podcast, which is a superior name. What do we think about Ant's team? I mean, a lot of people were talking smack draft night. Everyone had a couple drinks. People like to gang up on Ant. I love his team. I really like his team. I know a lot of people don't. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it is a pretty solid team, like you said. I think it might even be Ant's first team to make the playoffs since 2021. That said, the quarterback situation is going to need work. Justin Herbert's not a viable fantasy starter. That's just been proven over time. I'm concerned about the Gibbs Montgomery thing because, I mean, we're like one injury to a wide receiver away from that becoming reality. So again, I'm sure there have been weeks, didn't do my research, but I'm sure there have been weeks where it worked out in the past. I'm sure there have been weeks where they hurt each other. So that will happen eventually. It'll be worth noting when it does. And as been pointed out, Puka is like one Stafford hit away from kind of being a fantasy liability. Now, after having said what I dislike, I will say I very much like the Kamara pick. I think Kamara, he's always a good fantasy running back. Nothing's going to really change this year. I mean, again, Rattler will probably be throwing to Kamara a lot, I would assume. So I like that pick a lot. I think he got pretty good value there. But yeah, I mean, I don't love it, don't hate it. It's kind of how I feel about a lot of my opponents, however. So, not bad, not my favorite. It'll be all right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, Herbert's a waiver wire quarterback. Um, he went out and grabbed him. He's starting him. Gibbs Montgomery, I don't hate that, but like you said, what I love Ant's starting lineup going into the season. No one gets injured. His bench is horrible. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot
not
of
great.
guys who, almost everyone on his bench besides Montgomery are like, none of them would be like top 2, top 3 guys on anyone else's bench. I don't know if that's fair to say.
Yeah,
I don't
I
hate.
think I don't love Diggs. I don't love Diggs. I think he might be over the hill a little bit. Jennings is quietly hurt all the time. Jaden Reed is probably going to be a waiver caliber player in a few weeks. Again, with respect to Jaden Reed, and then ETN Jr. Who knows? Maybe the new offensive coordinator, or maybe the new coach. The new coach will maybe get the most out of him again. So that could be a sneaky good pick. But we'll have to, yeah. Duval. Yes, everyone should say their best Duval right now if you're listening at home. But ETN is just okay. I mean, yeah, and Addison will be back, right? I mean, I don't even know what he's suspended for. I think it's a DUI of some sort. So fitting that he's on Ant's team.
Yeah,
And we'll go from there. Yeah,
Ant loves players with criminal history or
getting
players who
shot
have
for some
who've
reason.
been
People who got
shot.
shot.
Yeah,
Yeah, built his
yeah,
team
that's
around guys who got shot one year. That was
yeah.
interesting.
Ant's just the
Last
type
year,
of guy. Yeah, Ant's just the type of guy. He goes to the horse track, and if the horse is like angry or like biting, that's the horse he bets money on. So
and that strategy, I'm sure, has worked before. So, we'll see, right? It's hard. It's hard right now, just because we don't know what these guys are doing at the moment. But we'll see.
yeah. Now moving on to CD Sack. So to your team that you go on your ESPN app every day, and you people would say goon, you goon. So
Yes, I do that.
Jaden
Yeah,
Daniels, I predicted round 4, Aidan Linehan 2025. He's gonna take him. He's my baby.
yeah,
He's awesome. His floor is just so high because of his legs. I mean, there's so many guys he has to throw to, including his backs, everybody. Nothing to complain about there. Ashton Gianti, he's one of the best like college running backs of like this century. I feel like this guy was. I know it was Boise State or whatever, but I think he's gonna be nuts. And I'm not glazing because you're my guest. I gotta come on.
no, good offensive line in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
There's a lot to like with Genty. A lot of upside. Not the best preseason. Not that that matters really, but yeah, I was
yeah,
happy to get him.
yeah. And then James Conner. James Conner's awesome until he gets hurt, which he
Yeah,
will. It's the same thing with Kenneth Walker. Like these guys, they go later in drafts because of the injury history. I feel like if James Conner, Kenneth Walker, like actually played every season, like these guys would be like second, third round picks. I don't know about this year, but you know what I mean. And then just to round it out, I mean CD. I mean that guy. I had him ranked like third or fourth going into the season. I'm not going to touch on your other wide receiver too much because he caused me a lot of pain last year in the
No,
championship
yeah,
game.
absolutely. No,
Uh,
the thing with T. Higgins is he gets a lot of flack. He does get hurt often, but that's not to. He's a tough guy. Okay, I want to set the straight. Like getting hurt doesn't mean you're not tough. Like what comes to mind right away is T. Higgins. I'm not sure how many people know that. I'm sure more than maybe Brees Hall sucks, but but T. Higgins. I think he was the guy that killed Damar Hamlin. I'm pretty sure he was the one whose shoulder killed Damar Hamlin. So it's not. I mean, maybe he was just like rattled last season. I don't know. If he's good, this team is good. I think. I don't want to say he's
yeah,
the X factor, but a good wide receiver too would be a big boost. And then
yeah.
obviously this week, my projection is boosted a lot by Worthy being wide receiver one in Kansas City for a few weeks. So that's nice too. I think that I kind of have to get off to a hot start, just because eventually Worthy will start sharing the role a little bit. You never know what Mark Andrews is going to be, and T Higgins, you never know, and Connor, you never know. There's a lot of you never know here, but I'm pretty satisfied with it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a fan of your team. I mean, Xavier Worthy, I'm pissed off that I play you week one just because I'm one of your opponents who's probably going to see a 25 to 35 point week out of Xavier Worthy being the undisputed number one target for Patty Mahomes. Mark Andrews, you just gotta ask Will when to start him, when to sit him, and do the opposite. And and then your bench, you have a lot. I mean, Aaron Jones, he is the starter in Minnesota, but I'm a big Jordan Mason guy.
Yeah, for now he's the starter. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
But
will
yeah,
say real quick about one more player on my bench, Colston Loveland. I'm high on a little bit. However, something I forgot to discuss when we went over Chris's team is I do think I might have taken the wrong rookie tight end. I think Tyler Warren is probably going to be a little bit better than him, just in the sheer volume. There's not a lot of guys he has to share targets with in Indianapolis, so we'll see what Loveland does. But I think that might have been a misstep in the draft.
totally agree. And one other thing to round it out is Kyler Murray. I mean, he screwed me over in fantasy a couple years ago, but one thing I see everyone talking about, like all like the little TikTok fantasy I know everything guys is you have to draft Kyler Murray because he's going to go back to being a top five quarterback. So you can very well have like a huge trade piece to trade Ant.
That's Ant's quarterback. Exactly. I was going to say Ant's quarterback is on my bench. Whenever he's ready, he can come get him.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to go down. Yeah. So, all right, that's the Nader division. We went through the Nader division. Um, we just have the Alc division to go through, and to start it off, I guess we'll go with Alex's team. Alex's team, which has been getting a lot of flack in the fantasy group chat.
Most maligned team to date. Yeah.
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 So take it
I'll
away.
start it off. Yeah. I mean, obviously, the first thing everyone goes to, right, is Hampton and Harvey as the running backs. I mean, it's maybe not the most ideal setup in week one. Week eight, who knows what it looks like? I mean, these guys could easily be the established RB1s, no competition. Uh, Particularly, I think the issue right now in week one is kind of on Harvey. And I say this as an RJ Harvey fan. I was looking to draft him in maybe like the seventh round. I believe he went in the fifth, or he went in the top 50, which was probably a little bit higher
Yeah.
than
He
I
went
thought he
50.
was going to go. But I heard today that the reason that he's running back too is he's having trouble picking up the blitz. So frankly, that could mean a lot of things. It just means right now that he's just not going to play right now, but he's going to get better over time, and he's going to become a suitable fantasy running back. I mean, they didn't use a second round pick on him to not give him the ball ultimately. So if it starts slow, I don't think I'd give up hope on him just yet. Just because, again, they didn't just draft him for no reason. He'll eventually get in there. And then obviously the strength of this team is the wide receivers. Nico Collins, Brian Thomas, and Smith and Jigba. I'm not sure there's a better core. And then with Ridley and Myers on the bench, very strong there. Kind of banking on some running back kind of having some sort of season we're not expecting, at least judging by the bench running backs. But there's an opportunity for his team to be fine. It should be noted, lowest projection in week 1. Again, that could be an RJ Harvey thing, though. And I guess ESPN doesn't love Evan Engram. But again, you can't really predict how the season's going to go in week before the season even begins. So I think that his team will. My prediction is maybe it doesn't start the strongest, but it finishes much stronger than it starts. That's what I'll say. I don't know about you.
For sure, that's a great analysis. I mean, like you said, the wide receivers are just loaded. Nico Collins, BTJ, JSN, Jacoby Myers, Calvin Ridley, Darnell Mooney, I guess. But the thing is, like, he has so many wide receivers that, like, that it's a good problem to have where he's going to have wide receivers on his bench who can be not just flexes, but the potential to be like wide receiver 2s on some teams, where I think Alex, who doesn't trade much, again, I know Alex like does trade. I think I'm just saying that because I don't trade with him much, but I think at some point, Hampton and Harvey, I don't know if they'll be good enough to be like to both pan out the way he's expecting. And if he had like one solid running back, doesn't even have to be a running back 1. If he had like a Kenneth Walker Charbonnet type thing, if he had something like that to pair with Hampton or Harvey every week with the wide receivers, like let's say just get rid of one wide receiver, he gets rid of it in trade, I think like his team is like terrifying to play against.
Yeah, a lot of room to make a move. And I guess probability says that one of Hampton and Harvey is going to hit. So just got to hope it hits high, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
and also, I think it should be noted also that I think he was like, I'll never do the Mahomes thing again. And Mahomes is his quarterback. So we'll see. I mean, again, it's not like it's the worst situation in the world. I think Mahomes is out to maybe prove something. So we'll see.
Maybe. I think he had 1 year where he was like 1 or 2 years where he was like a top fantasy quarterback. It's just, there's a difference between being the best quarterback in the league and being one of the best fantasy quarterbacks. There's guys in every position in fantasy who are amazing, and then in real life, it's like this guy's not that great. He just gets this, gets that. So he's not your typical fantasy guy with his legs, his mobility, his injury risk with, he just runs weird. But yeah, I mean, I don't love him, but he got him super late too. He got him in like the 10th round or something. So
that's true. It's probably fine. Pretty good value for Mahomes there. So yeah, and it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on to Robert Kinkner, the man who got married, I think a month ago today. So
a month ago today, I believe you're right.
Yeah. The second married man in the fantasy league. Robert Kinkner, I need more points. So
retroactively, the second married man.
That's true.
If you think about it, sort of. I don't know. It's no big deal. Yeah. But anyway, I'll get into it. This is a team that may require a handout at some point, and there are no handouts coming, not from me this year. I famously won him the Mayo Bowl. I'll just start that. I started off right there when I gave him Jonathan Taylor, who he retains in the current year, and a lot to like. I think just the fact that he has Josh Allen means that his team's not going to suck no matter what. Like, he'll always be in it every week just because he has Josh Allen, who's going to be quarterback 1 in all likelihood. Egbuka, I hope I'm saying that right. I think that's kind of everyone's fantasy sleeper right now, just because he's assuming a larger role with Tampa Bay. Kelsey is on a bit of a retirement tour, so I don't know what you'd expect with him. But again, Kelsey is always good for probably like 4 or 5 catches and go from there. Again, I think honestly, just between Allen, Taylor, and Jefferson, like his team's going to be fine. He just has to kind of fill in the gaps from there. He did a very good job in the top 3 rounds, I think. So he'll ultimately be fine. I don't think there's a lot to dislike here. The bench could be maybe a little bit stronger, but just the fact that he has a solid running back and a solid wide receiver on the bench, right, probably means he's fine. Will Shipley was kind of a weird pick. Guess he's kind of just like preying on Saquon's downfall a little bit there But yeah,
Giants fan.
honestly, I think this might be one of the stronger Rob Kingner teams in some time.
I agree. It's a super high floor. Like Josh Allen is going to get like he's not going to have a bad week. He might, but he's not. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's Jonathan Taylor. Trayvon Henderson is another rookie with upside. I mean, I didn't love owning the entire Patriots backfield last year, but the year before that, and I think the year before that, which might have been Ramondre's rookie year, they were a nice backfield to have. So um, hopefully Henderson could be good for him. Jefferson, super high floor. DJ Moore, like he's a solid guy. He's going to get you what he's projected for each week.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a very balanced team, solid depth. Henderson had an amazing preseason, so I think there's a lot to like. Pretty much, I think he's gonna have a big week one too, because Vegas's defense is supposedly pretty bad. Yeah, I think Rob is maybe headed back to the playoffs this season. I think it's a good team.
Yeah, yeah. On his went off to his honeymoon, and now he's ready for the Pistol Pedias Fantasy Football League. Which one's better? I don't know. Uh,
Probably, yeah, no, definitely this. I don't. Hey, hey, never mind. I was gonna. It's all good. No, no worries.
not for the Hock Pacua podcast.
Yeah, no, Hock Pacua, yeah, not for the Hock Pacua podcast. Maybe off air.
Not for the HPP. All right. Next team we got Saquonda Forever, Mr. Will Lentini, a back-to-back champion of the league, and then the last two seasons he has struggled.
Hmm.
So
No,
what do you think
absolutely.
about Will?
Some really low scoring weeks last year. I think maybe the lowest scoring team. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think this team's fine. The thing I like about, I'll start off with quarterback. The thing I like a lot about Baker Mayfield is last season he was very consistent. Like he didn't like wow you any weeks, but he really didn't have many like stinkers. So I think he's a pretty solid fantasy quarterback overall. Don't think there's a lot to dislike there. And obviously Saquon and Kyron is really solid. I think Kyron is probably one of the players that would be fine if Stafford got hurt. Um, Drake London is kind of like a great wide receiver, so that's a solid pick. It's just from there on out, it's a lot of like the hit or miss guys like Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Tony Pollard. I mean, Brian Robinson Jr., he's not going to have a role, I guess. But like, I mean, he has Eckler, right, who's a player. He plays in the NFL. But these are a lot of guys that are like, especially like in Marvin Harrison's case, it was last season was extreme. It was like 5 points or like 45. Uh, but I'm sure he'll be a little bit better this season. It's just a lot of hit or miss. Like there are probably going to be some low scoring weeks here from Will, which he's kind of grown accustomed to over the years. But I'm not sure if you have anything to add. But I think again on paper, like in his best week, it's going to look great, and in his worst week, it's going to look really bad. But that's just my opinion. I don't know if you have anything to say.
I agree completely. Baker's super solid. Saquon is awesome. Got to stay healthy. A lot of the league hates Kyron. I love Kyron. I know, like he's not one of the best or most efficient backs, but just the volume alone. Like I watched a bunch of Rams games last year, having him and Cooper Kupp. Like it's just so nice. Like how much he's involved in the goal line. It's just him. Like maybe Blake Corum will have more of a role, but um, I I wasn't targeting Kyron this year just from having him last year, as he kind of went down as the year went on. But I still think he's going to be super solid. Have him as his number two is awesome. Drake London, I wanted him really bad at the end of the second round. I thought there was going to be a chance. He was passed around the league a bit 2 years ago. I think he might have been owned by like 6 or 7 teams 2 years ago. I think you and I were both Drake London owners that year. But
I think you might be right. Yeah.
Kittle is awesome. I was targeting him as well. But one thing that kind of bothers me a bit is his bench, but also Marvin Harrison and Zay Flowers. So I really dislike Zay Flowers. I like whenever he's available in any draft I was in this year, like there was no way I was thinking about him. Just from watching a few Ravens games, like it was just excruciating to watch, like him either be open or score 3 points in a week. And that's kind of what Marvin Harrison was a lot of weeks last year. But that's like what Zay Flowers did most of the season. And I don't know. Marvin Harrison, I could definitely see the jump to him being really good. But Zay Flowers, I just still don't see it. I don't know.
No, absolutely. I'm in complete agreement there. I think Zay Flowers is kind of like the MVP of like the Garrett Wilson like school, I guess. That doesn't make really any sense, but you kind of get what I'm trying to say. Like he's the extremist of the extreme of like 30 points or three, because he did that a lot last season. I'm just gonna open up his game log here. I hope it's like the app where it shows you last season. Okay, it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just rip it off here, like 11, 22, right? But then he goes 5, 3, 19, 22, 4, 18, 29, 7, 11, 11, 10, 11. Like he'll be
It'll be
fine. Like he'll
crazy.
be fine. And some weeks are going to be crazy, but it's kind of like almost like Mark Andrews, where it's like you just got to get the week right. I mean, because it's going to be hit or miss every week. So up and down, zigging and zagging, I guess. It'll be fine.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, so two teams left. We'll go with one of the most extreme voices in the fantasy group chat, which is Kevin Judge with Rags Gritty Gang. So I'm gonna let you take it away here because
Sure, I'll kick it off. I like this team a lot. I think this might be maybe my favorite team. And that's a crazy statement. It's kind of gotten maligned a little bit. But I think Jalen Hurts is, he's top five. He'll score a lot of rushing touchdowns. He might even lead the league in rushing touchdowns. So great fantasy quarterback there. Bucky and Chase Brown is like a surprisingly great running back tandem, given he took Jamar at one. And then to get Terry as his wide receiver two is really nice too. Like his team, at least I don't even want to say it's top heavy because it's very strong at the top. But even the bench, like Jalen Warren's the starter. Rashee Rice will be back. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, maybe he's the winner of the like mid off that they got going on in Washington. Chris Godwin Jr. Is a solid player. He's not healthy often, but he is solid when he's in there. He was really good last year when he was healthy. He will not be healthy all season. I guess he's already hurt. Well, recovering, but he'll get hurt again. Um, yeah, I think honestly, like it's a really strong team. I don't know if you have anything to add, if you feel like me, or if you kind of take the route of the vocal majority that dislikes the team.
no, I actually agree. I really like his team as much as he's going to use this against me when I talk crap. But um, but I don't know, Kevin. I think he really came like with a vendetta this season. Where the past couple years, I feel like how Ant has always been like the number eight, number 7 or 8 guy. I feel like Kevin's been like the number 5, 6 guy many seasons where he barely makes the playoffs or like will lose in the first round or just miss it. And I think last year he had a ton of picks in like the second through fifth round after trading away his second or third to Alex, and he missed with a lot of picks with like Pacheco. I mean, due to injury, Pacheco. I'm blanking, but
Puka was hurt last year a little
Puka
bit.
was
I don't know
hurt.
if you said Puka.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, Puka. But Jalen Hurts, awesome. Chase Brown, I love Chase Brown. He's similar to a Kyron guy. He's not one of the most skilled players, but just volume alone, the guy's like so valuable in fantasy. I don't love Bucky Irving. Um, Rashad White takes up so much like of those like garbage time or comeback like PPR like reception points and like touchdowns on those that like if he wasn't there like Bucky Irving would be so much better. And Kevin, just for the record, I was not going to take Chase Brown or Bucky Irving in the third round in that 2-3 turn. After taking Bijan and Jacobs, I wasn't going another running back. So thank you for taking both of them and leaving me with Tyreek. Jamar, awesome. I wanted Bijan. I had Jamar last year. I don't think he's gonna do it again. If T Higgins plays more games and Jamar already got paid, he's gonna come down to earth a little bit. He's still going to be sick. He's going to win Kevin 1 week alone by scoring 55. It's always happened. As he kind of did towards the end of the season for me, I think that might be a similar trend where he comes down to earth a tiny bit. I'm not going to trash him though. He should be the number 1 pick in every league. Terry Mack, he's awesome, but I don't know. I'd be a little nervous about Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is great to have, but he uses his legs so much that like there are some games where Terry will have like 1 reception, even though he's targeted like 5 or 6 times, just because Jaden Daniels isn't like a perfect quarterback, but he's the perfect fantasy quarterback, if that makes sense. And then, yeah, his bench is loaded. So many like upside guys that can break out, and he'll end up trading to Ant and getting really good players. I'm picking on Ant, but he'll end up trading with Will, with Chris, with anybody, and end up with a stacked team going into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a very solid team. A doomer angle, if you want to take a doomer angle on this team, is that if something, God forbid, were to happen to Joe Burrow, this team would suffer terribly, not only on Jamar Chase, but also on Chase Brown, because I think Chase Brown kind of benefits from a lot of those short passes, a lot of goal line work when Joe Burrow gets them there. So, but again, that's just a doomer angle. You can really do that with any player, but it's just something to point out.
For sure, that's the scary part of having running back and wide receiver on a team. And then we have my team. We don't have to go in too much, just because it's me. But if you wanna go,
absolutely, I'll take it. I think that the team is very strong. It's just kind of lacking a quarterback, right? I think that's kind of just sort of how I would diagnose it. Like Bijan and Josh Jacobs are very solid. Tyreek Hill, some people are saying he's over the hill. I personally don't think he is. I think he's going to have a good season. And Devontae Adams really fell in the draft. Kind of fell in all the drafts I did this year. Not sure why people don't like him as much. I guess you could take like the Stafford angle. That 1 hit to Stafford kind of renders him irrelevant. But down the stretch of the regular season with the Jets, he was very good, like really, really good. So I don't think there's any. I think until something happens to Stafford, you really can't be too upset about the Adams pick. And Njoku is as solid as it gets. He'll benefit from Flacco being the quarterback a lot. I like Chuba Hubbard a lot, and so does Chris. Jalen Waddle, I like a lot. Obviously, the former namesake of my team. I am a fan of his. He just gets hurt. But Jerry Jeudy is quietly a very solid guy to just have on your bench. Like that's like he's wide receiver 1 there. So, he's on your bench. I mean, any wide receiver 1 has a chance to do well any given week. Jordan Mason just concerns me as an Aaron Jones owner, because I would imagine they split a lot of the carries. But this is a very solid team. I think, again, like this is a team that's probably headed to the playoffs, especially if you iron out quarterback. And who knows, maybe J.J. McCarthy ends up being good. I mean, I guess not enough people are considering that scenario. So I like the team a lot. I don't know if you'd like to add anything about it, things that you like, but yeah, I think it's a good team.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Just to touch on J.J. McCarthy, Alex and Kevin the other day were kind of talking smack. They were like, I don't know why you love. I sent them like my team in another league where I had J.J. McCarthy as well, and they were like dude drafts Jaden Daniels once and is the quarterback whisperer, and then I had to send screenshots of my teams in like 2019 with Lamar and 2020 with Jalen Hurts, and I'm like, yo, Kevin, like fuck off, bro. But
it's the Vikings. It's the Vikings thing.
Yeah,
I mean, any quarterback with the Vikings ends up good. Like if you said last year that you love Sam Darnold, everyone would have been like, "Are you kidding me?" And he ended up being really good. So I think just the virtue of being in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what my whole thing was. Like I think Minnesota is a place where you plug and play anybody and they're going to succeed. Look at Sam Darnold. He's not. I don't think he's good enough to be an NFL starting quarterback, but
he was great last season. So
yeah. But I wasn't expecting Devontae Adams to be my 5th round pick. I don't even know who I was expecting, and Even though my two wide receivers in my starting lineup are old, I think they could bring it back. And yeah, I'm excited, and maybe we make a trade right now for Jordan Mason. No, I'm kidding.
It could be something to look into. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did not realize we're 45 minutes in.
That's all right. It's the week 1 special.
Yeah, and hopefully this program will edit this for me, so I don't have to don't have to do this. So I guess so. Potential best and worst picks. We don't have to. I mean, if you have anything comes off the top of your head on potential best and worst picks of the draft.
Yeah, I think honestly, I kind of alluded to talking about Ant's team, but I think Kamara in the 4th round is a good pick. I think Kamara has a chance to be like RB3. So I don't really. It's a kind of like oversight on my part. I took Daniels. He ends up with Kamara. It's a good pick. Moving into round 5, you mentioned it. I didn't even realize Devontae Adams was a 5th round pick. So by virtue of that, I think I have to like the pick a lot. Kind of just moving down, it's hard to kind of like pick a player that I think is going to be better than we were expecting necessarily. I think that Tyler Warren in round 12 could be a really good player for Chris. I think if anyone has the best chance to be like last year's Bowers, it would be Tyler Warren, even though I took Lovell in the round before. But I already mentioned that was kind of my big draft regret. I think those would probably be like my best picks. And again, there's going to be someone like the best pick by the end of the year probably isn't going to be anyone that we're going to talk about here. But I think that ultimately there were some good value picks that at least you can point out right now. And I think those are a couple of them. As for worst picks, I think Breece Hall in the 5th round. And that's just because I'm a Breece Hall hater, even as a Jet fan. But he won't be a Jet next year, so it's okay. Let's see. Just scrolling down here. Again, it's hard for me to say like a 7th rounder or wasn't a 7th rounder, an 8th rounder, excuse me, 73 overall, Quinshawn Judkins. Anytime you draft a player that isn't under contract is a concern. But again, it was an 8th rounder, so is it really going to hurt Chris that bad? He'll probably be RB1, knowing Chris. But yeah, honestly, I think everyone did like a pretty good job on paper. Will Shipley kind of surprised a lot of people. I think this might be the only league he's owned in, but that's okay. Again, it was a 12th rounder. It's just a dart throw at that point. So I think everyone just on paper did a pretty solid job. If Harvey ends up never playing, that's not a great pick, but I think he'll play eventually down the stretch. So yeah, I think everyone did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of great picks, and when I was trying to find like worst picks, it's tough because you never know, obviously. But I guess I'll just go through stuff that was a little questionable when it happened. Was a lot of people might disagree with me with this, but when Chris drafted Trey McBride right before Brock Bowers, I thought Brock Bowers would be way ahead of him just because of not only the volume but touchdowns. Like, did Trey McBride get like 1 touchdown last year? Like, I don't even like. I feel like that was
they talked about Trey McBride on the NBC Fantasy show that day. That's why I ended up. That's why I ended up on that team.
Yeah,
but I'm in agreement with you. I think Bowers is probably the higher upside tight end. But if Trey McBride's like tight end 3 when it's all said and done, I'm sure Chris's regrets probably won't be. He probably won't have many.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the other ones, Breece Hall, like you said, round 5. R.J. Harvey, round 5, might be tough. Where else was it? Let me see here. Quinshawn Judkins, definitely.
He could be a good player. It's just he's not signed. And I think he's in a little legal trouble right now. So hopefully he gets that ironed out.
Yeah.
Or we wish him well, obviously. We wish him the best.
We wish him well. And then lastly, my pick of Joe Mixon in the 9th. I mean, it's a 9th round, but at the time I thought there was a chance, but now it seems like the guy's not even going to play. But wasting a 9th, it's not too. I don't care that much.
In all likelihood, the worst pick is going to come from the top 2 rounds. Like, someone's going to get hurt, and it's going to totally fuck everything. So I think that it's kind of hard to, like, I think everyone's favorite is Puka as the guy who ultimately kind of falls off with an injury, but it could be anybody. I mean, you know, McCaffrey's injury prone. CeeDee Lamb was hurt a lot last year. A-Chain is hurt currently. So, uh, but honestly, I think that, yeah, it's hard to kind of pick out the worst pick, especially right now, especially because it will, in all likelihood, be a top 2 or 3 round pick.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, so to end off the show, if so last year Chris and I would have to we Chris would make like most of those graphics, those sick graphics, and he was like trying to like teach me a little bit how to do it. And I know it might be easy like to him or whatever, but I was like, dude, like I would like send him all like the commissions picks or like power ranking stuff like that. So something that I wanted to do, hopefully on the Hock Pacua podcast, which as we go on, hopefully I won't take everyone's time that much, and it won't be this extensive just because it'll be like week by week. But if we could end off the show doing a new commish picks segment where just off the top of your head, I don't know if you prepared this, you go through the matchups and tell me who you think is going to win over who.
No,
Doesn't even
absolutely.
have to
I'll
be like
start.
a long explanation.
No, I got you. I'll start with our matchup. I think that I might take this one, with all due respect, of course. I just think I was kind of put over the top with Worthy, kind of benefiting from Rashee Rice's own legal troubles. So I think that this week it might go my way just for that reason. But interesting little aspect to this matchup is we'll probably know by Friday night who's going to win this matchup just between Lamb tomorrow and Worthy on Friday. So that's a little wrinkle to add. I'll move on to, or I'm sorry, do you want to give a pick as well, or?
Yeah, I guess we'll do that. So I have mine written down. I have you over me as well, just
Humble of you.
because
It's very
I
humble.
definitely like the starting lineup strength to start the year. I think my team's very questionable. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't even know if I'm starting JJ McCarthy yet. I might sneak in Dak before the game tomorrow, but I don't love him playing Philly, so you might get JJ. So, but I got you over me just because of all these question marks I have on my own team. But yeah, I agree with what you said. So moving to Robbie versus Will. Who do you have?
Yeah, give me Rob in this one. He's projected to lose, but I'm going to take Rob. I think Josh Allen off the MVP week 1 in Buffalo Sunday night. He's he's primed to have a good game. I think again, same thing. Jefferson, like these guys, like the stars always kind of do better. I think week 1 because there's a lot more to show that you still got it maybe. And I think just the fact that Egbuka is going to be wide receiver 2 in Tampa Bay for at least the first couple of weeks, like I'd take him over Flowers. I think I just think that Rob's team, kind of like what you just mentioned, like just the week 1, like the starter value team is a little bit stronger because there's so many hit or miss guys on Will's team. I think it's going to be week to week with Will. So give me Rob.
I kind of wish we planned this in advance because I don't know who you were gonna pick. You don't know who I'm gonna pick. I also picked Rob over Will, and that was basically the explanation I had in my head. I mean, Will, like we just don't know, and like we both said when we were analyzing Rob's team, I mean, a lot of safe guys. You know what you're gonna get, so I agree. I need more points over Saquonda forever. Now moving on to Chris versus Nick. Who do you have?
And this is probably the first one that it kind of gives me some pause. I'll take Nick in this matchup. That's Deuce ran a chain on Buddy. I'll I'll take Deuce ran a chain. That's just because kind of for the reason I like Josh Allen. I don't love the Ravens on Sunday night, and
Mm.
this could be proven to be very stupid in the end, obviously. But if the Ravens do have a tough time with I'm sure a rowdy Buffalo crowd, that kind of takes out quarterback and RB1. Swift is kind of a question mark, but don't love him. I don't love Garrett Wilson on Sunday. Like just a lot of guys. I mean, Ted McMillan making his debut. Like there's just a lot that could go wrong, I think, with Chris this week. And also, he needs to change his team name, like, desperately. So give me Deuce ran a chain.
I'm glad you said that because this is the first time we disagree. After a little bit of thought, I took Chris over Nick. I took Chuba over Deuce ran a chain on Buddy. Like I mean, as you explained it, you were making me kind of retract on my picks. Like the Ravens at Buffalo on Sunday night. Like that is I don't know now, but
The
but
Ravens are great. I mean, the Ravens are a great team. Like it
yeah,
could easily go their way, and then you probably have to give Chris the benefit of that. But yeah,
I think Malik Neighbors is gonna go crazy in Washington. I think Garrett Wilson might have a game just because the Jets coaching staff is just going to want to whoop Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was talking hot to the media and stuff. I think the Jets are going to bring it and then blow their load and still lose the game while playing well. And Jets fans are not like us are not going to know how to evaluate it. But I think that's all we can hope for is to lose but they played well because that's what we're used to. And then Trey McBride, he's going to be great, and McMillan, you never know. So give me Chuba Chuba.
yeah, and actually, this is a point I didn't even consider. Like, I mean, another good reason that I think I side with Deuce ran a chain is just because this is the only week of the year where Chris isn't going to have the tight end advantage. Like, so it's like everything is almost working against him here. But for the reasons you pointed out, like it could easily go his way. So uh, right now, I favor Nick, but Cuba, that name has to change. It has to change. But yeah, I could see it going well for Chris.
Now, Ant versus Kevin Hall, the newest member. Who do you have?
Yeah, and this is a tough one as well. I'm gonna take Ant here. I feel like I would be remiss to take Ant or not take Ant rather, just because I think both of us kind of had our doubts about um, first down syndrome. Yeah, I think like this is one of those weeks where you can definitely get away with Justin Herbert just against Bo Nix. And I say that as a Bo lever. But I just think like the fact that no one is hurt yet on Ant's team, like there are no injuries threatening him. Like I'd gladly take Ant here. And there's the added bonus of the fact that Bo Nix will be throwing to Ant's flex. So well, not all his points, obviously, but a good chance is that a solid number of his points ultimately go to Ant at the same time. So I just think a lot's working in Ant's favor here. Give me Ant.
I take Ant as well. That's who I have. I think his starting lineup is just so attractive going into the season. Gibbs, Kamara, Puka, Conky now. T Hawk is going to be back. Portland Sutton. I mean, Patriots are playing Vegas. I don't think Vegas is going to have it together. You never know. Patriots D is a little scary to be starting week one, but I think I'm going to take Hock Tua. Yeah, I agree.
You also have the added wrinkle of, and I think I might have seen this in maybe one other team, but Brees Hall is playing Kevin's starting defense. So there's something to give there. Granted, not a lot. Defense can only, I think, lose 5, maybe max. But just an added wrinkle there. Yeah, I think Ant's team is just a little more primed right now.
That's true. That's true. And this, I have marked this the game of the week. Alex
Definitely
versus
matchup of
Kevin.
the week. Definitely matchup of
And
the week. Yeah.
crazy, crazy star power on both sides. Very crazy talk in the group chat just the past few weeks. Who do you have here?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Kevin here. I think for kind of the reasons we outlined, just going through Alex's team. Like as an RJ Harvey enjoyer, liker, say what you will. I just don't think he's going to be much of a factor early in the season. I think he'll prove to be a good running back down the stretch, but don't think he's excuse me, don't think he's ready right now. So that would probably be the tipping point is just the incredible advantage that Kevin has at running back. And while Alex's wide receivers are very strong, obviously, just the fact that Jamar is there kind of offsets a lot of that. I mean, Jamar is arguably two of these guys on his own. That's why he went number one, right? So um, I just think there's a lot going for Kevin right now. I think he gets out of this one with a win.
While I'd like to differ with you, I also selected Kevin. Um, and I know Kevin's going to use that against me when I argue, but it's so hard to find reasons why Kevin wouldn't win. Just I was like, oh, Jamar Chase he was not good the first 2 weeks last year. Like they're playing Cleveland, he always destroys them. Chase Brown is going to run all over him. I mean, Bucky Irving, um, Terry McLaurin's playing the Giants. Like there's so many matchups for Kevin that I think is like Jalen Hurts Thursday Night Football. He's going to be great. But with Alex, I think his wide receivers might, even on his bench, might put on a show and just ball out and make it super close, and it could really go to anybody. But I do give the slight edge to Kevin.
Yeah, and I think it's really the thing that just I kind of rely on is just the fact that Alex's team I think will get stronger as the year progresses. Just checking the schedule, these two teams will face off again week 10, so that could be a little bit more of a contentious matchup, I think, for how it might go. I just think right now there's enough in Kevin's favor to ultimately get him the win.
Yeah, for sure. So we did it. Episode 1 of the Hock Pacua Podcast. If there's anything else you'd like to add, something that you're especially excited for, go ahead. If not, it's totally cool. Just any message you'd like to give?
Just so happy to have it back, Dean. I think I think really that's what it is. It's just we're so happy we finally made it. We'll wake up tomorrow and it'll be time for football. Thank God. I don't want to hear one more word about Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Not one more word. So I'm very excited to have it all start up, and also just another thing to say is that I feel honored to be the first guest on Hock Pacua, and it's not an honor that I take lightly. So very happy to have been here.
Thank you so much for being here. Can't believe it's been an hour. I know we're gonna fine tune everything. We're gonna get in a groove, and as it goes week to week, like I said, there will be less to talk about. We had so much to go through. We basically did a season preview, a draft recap, an analysis of every team before we know anything, and then did the matchups. And thank you so much for being here and being the inaugural Hock Pacua podcast guest.
No, absolutely, and I'm intrigued to see who gets week 2. Very excited.
Hopefully, there's gonna be a long list of people who are lining up. Let's hope.
Sure, everyone will want to be on this show. It's the best show.
All right, Aidan. Only thing I have to say is hashtag Grummel Swag.
Absolutely, absolutely, Grummel Swag.